Aside from the multi-layered, action-packed, and emotionally captivating adventure story it has established, another element that has engraved the Hunter x Hunter series into our hearts is its renowned power system, Nen. Nen is undisputedly one of the best, and this is largely due to its introduction as the creative, versatile, and structurally complex power system in this story. So today, we're going to look at the top 10 Nen users in the series. But before we get into that, let's take a moment to refresh our memories and dive into the concept of Nen. Nen is a power possessed by a select few individuals in the Hunter x Hunter universe. It allows them to wield and manipulate their own life energy, known as aura. By virtue of their access to their aura, these chosen characters, known as Nen users, are granted parapsychological abilities that are wide in structural range and unique to each person based on their personality and discipline. It was properly introduced in the Heaven's Arena arc as a proficient yet dangerous power mostly used by hunters, assassins, and martial artists. However, it is generally hidden from the public to maintain order. Nen users are grouped into 6 classes based on the nature of their ability, which include Enhancers, those with abilities that boost their strength and physical capabilities, Transmuters, those who can transform their aura to replicate either natural or artificial substances, Conjurers, those who can create material objects such as weapons through their aura, Emitters, those with the ability to easily separate their aura from their body, which allows for long-range attacks, Manipulators, those who can control other beings using their abilities, and Specialists, those with an unorthodox ability that doesn't fall under any of the other classes. Now that we've covered the most important aspects of this power system, it's time to look at the top 10 strongest Nen users in the Hunter x Hunter series. Number 10. Hisoka Marrow. The mere mention of Hisoka's name is bound to put certain thoughts in the minds of familiar fans due to his immoral antics displayed throughout the series. But despite his uncomfortable attraction to talented young boys, he's also an immensely skilled combatant, particularly in his use of Nen. Being a trickster both in appearance and character, Hisoka Marrow bears the number 4 among the Phantom Troop, and is ranked 3rd in terms of physical strength among the group members as well. Starting off this list with Hisoka is pretty ironic, given the fact that the very first clear showcase of Nen in the series came from him. This was during the Heaven's Arena arc, where he used an outburst of sinister aura via his Ren to intimidate Gon and Killua and prevent them from entering the 200th floor. Hisoka is a transmuter with a primary Nen ability called Bungee Gum. This ability allows him to make his aura elastic and sticky, resembling actual chewing gum both visually and capability-wise. As mundane and non-lethal as this ability sounds, Hisoka is able to masterfully manipulate his versatility to offer a plethora of offensive and defensive moves. He's able to perform impressive feats, such as utilizing the durability of his aura to tank powerful attacks, including a ball launched with the full force of Gon's rock, and Goto's propelled coins, even returning these projectiles back at them. He also manipulates the adhesive properties of Bungee Gum to set traps, run on walls, and even cover up his own wounds. Finally, adding to the stack of abilities in Hisoka's arsenal is Texture Surprise, an ability that allows him to change the appearance and/or texture of smooth surfaces such as paper. Hisoka displays profound tactfulness while utilizing these abilities that are fitting for the trickster he is. Number 9. Zeno Zoldyck. Zeno Zoldyck is one of those badass old characters you often see in action anime. Though he only appears in a few episodes, Zeno makes his presence felt in every scene he's in through stern displays of wisdom, experience, skill, and of course, power in combat scenarios. He's the father of Silva, grandfather of Killua, and the second oldest member of the prestigious family of assassins, the Zoldicks. That being said, he's not just a master of martial arts and assassination techniques, but also one of the most skilled Nen users in the series. Similar to Hisoka, he's also a transmuter, one who happens to be proficient in emission techniques as well. This is evident through how he's easily capable of firing blasts of aura, as he did against Chrollo. His primary ability, however, is Dragon Head, the ability to transmute his aura into a sizable dragon-like form, which he can further manipulate as he sees fit during battle. He can use this dragon for high-speed travel as he did in the Chimera Ant arc, and fire it as an emission attack as well. With Dragon Head activated, he can perform specific techniques such as Dragon Lance, the ability to control the dragon in an offensive fashion without firing it through the precise motion of his hands. A more destructive ability in Zeno's arsenal is Dragon Dive. This is basically when Dragon Head is shattered into smaller dragon-type emission attacks, which rain down from the sky like a meteor shower, destroying everything they hit over a wide area. And speaking of hitting, before we move on to the next entry on the list, make sure to hit the subscribe button with notifications on to never miss an upload, and smash that like button for some plot armor today. Number 8. Chrollo Lucifer. Next up is the esteemed founder and leader of the Phantom Troop, Chrollo Lucifer. Chrollo is one of those stylish antagonists you can't help but admire every time he makes an appearance. This is primarily due to his memorable deeds both on and off the battlefield. Ranked 7th in terms of physical strength among the Phantom Troop, Chrollo relies mostly on intellect, speed, precision, and adaptability during battle. He's able to display these techniques in his manipulation of Nen and application of his insane specialist ability named Skill Hunter. Through that ability, provided certain conditions are met, he can steal the techniques of other Nen users, rendering them unable to access those abilities anymore. He can use these stolen abilities as he wishes in combat by using a conjured book called Bandit's Secret and flipping to the page of the acquired ability in his vast collection. Using the bookmark from Bandit's Secret, he can even wield his desired abilities when it's closed and use 2 at once if he wishes to. During the handful of fights he's been involved in, he has displayed numerous impressive stolen abilities, including Indoor Fish, Fun Cloth, Sun and Moon, Order Stamp, the Precognition ability Lovely Ghost Rider, and even Teleportation. Given the vast range of abilities he has already displayed and others in his arsenal, Chrollo is certainly one of the most unpredictable and dangerous Nen users around. Number 7. Menthuthuyoupi. We now dive into the Chimera Ant Royal Guards, one of the most menacing forces in the series thus far. Starting off with the last born among them, Menthuthuyoupi. Simply called Youpi, it's a pretty cute and ironic alias for such a muscular beast. He's a truly terrifying being, whether in terms of raw physical strength or his Nen capabilities. He's also an enhancer, with his primary and most prominent ability being Metamorphosis. He can easily and constantly alter the shape and form of his body in an uncanny manner during battle. This allows crazy developments such as quadruple arms, numerous eyes, enlarged limbs, wings, and even sharp tentacles to sprout from his body. Menthuthuyoupi's malleable body also swells up when he feels stressed to store and release his pent-up rage in a powerful explosion, resulting in a feeling of extreme pleasure followed by despair. Aside from this Rage Blast ability, Youpi can also channel his pent-up fury to transform into a terrifying centaur-like creature known as Rage Incarnate. Now wielding a scythe, Youpi gains access to even more deadly attack capabilities. Youpi is indeed an immensely powerful being, but he is only capable of using brute force during battle and with very little logic. This is something that certainly can't be said about the next character on the list. Number 6. Shaiapouf. Shaiapouf is the second-born Chimera Ant Royal Guard, who proved to be an even greater force to be reckoned with. This is not only due to his vast range of abilities, but also to his application of intellect and logical reasoning during battle. This humanoid butterfly ant is by far the most rational being among the Royal Guards, which makes him truly dangerous, not only in combat, but in finding strategic moves that benefit the king and his species. The being nicknamed Poof is indeed a genius, one with the ability to fly at high speed. But what about his Nen? His base aura output alone was enough to make Nav, a professional hunter, have a mental breakdown upon getting a glimpse of it. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Poof is a manipulator capable of controlling his own body on a molecular level and can apply certain effects to other beings as well. By enclosing other chimera ants in a cocoon of his making, he can grant them Nen-based abilities. He can create up to 5,000 cocoons at a time, and this ability can also be applied to humans to create human chimera ant hybrids. Another prominent ability wielded by him is Spiritual Message. He can spread scales from his wings that have the function of informing him of the psychological state and personality of his opponent, enabling him to form countermeasures. This move also has the adverse effect of hypnosis on humans who breathe it in. He can also use Beelzebub, which enables him to split his body into multiple smaller segments, which he can control telepathically to perform several functions. Number 5. Neferpitou. The strongest, oldest, most memorable, and most gender-fluid of the Royal Guards is none other than Neferpitou. This cat humanoid ant is mostly known for the mayhem that followed their incredible feat of easily decapitating and killing the professional hunter Kite just shortly after discovering Nen. Referred to by Illumi as Meruem's top soldier, Neferpitou is undoubtedly the most powerful Royal Guard. This is evident in how they tanked a tail strike from Meruem himself, unlike Youpi and Poof, who were thrown through the wall from the test. Nen ability aside, Pitou is still very deadly with their incredible strength, speed, and claws sharp enough to impale and decapitate even Nen users. Similar to Poof, they possess an ominous aura output that makes them intimidating even when they don't intend to be. Pitou is a specialist-type user with 3 extraordinary abilities. Pitou's first one is Dr. Blythe, a giant doll they conjure up that bears the ability to treat injuries at impossible rates, even extremely fatal impalements. Dr. Blythe also grants them a form of necromancy, as it can reconstruct battered corpses of humans or their fellow chimera ants, enabling them to manipulate them. The second ability involves puppeteering. Pito can summon a large clown-like puppet master above a target that attaches its strings and gains total control over them. This is in fact a manipulation ability, and what makes it extra special is the fact that it can force people to use Nen abilities, whether they're Nen users or not. The final ability is Terpsichora. This involves the conjuring of a monstrous ballerina bearing puppet strings, which it attaches to the fingertips of Pito in a marionette-like manner. This is a combat-based ability that can act as a last resort for Pito, also triggering during dire moments. It enables them to surpass their limits, especially based on their physical attributes, such as their speed and strength, and deals significant damage to the opponent even when they are weakened. This ability was used to sever the arm of a fully powered-up Gon Freecss as a sort of last stand before Pito met his demise. Not to mention, his head was missing at the time. Number 4. Gon Freecss, Adult Form. Now the man who killed the most powerful Chimera Ant Royal Guard, Gon Freecss. The version of Gon being referred to here is of course not the charming little kid we all adore, but rather his dark, powerful, and vengeful adult transformation. Getting deeper into his character, Gon is the son of esteemed hunter Jing Freecss. The Hunter x Hunter story began when Gon set out on a journey to become a hunter and find Jing. He's an energetic kid who had superhuman physical attributes, senses, and enthusiasm, which helped him overcome the many obstacles he faced to eventually become a hunter and make a lot of allies along the way. After facing the death of his close friend Kite at the hands of the top Chimera Ant Royal Guard Neferpitou, his character gets warped into something darker. Kite's death got Gon overwhelmed with guilt and rage, now driven towards the singular goal of finding Pito and getting him to fix Kite by force. When Gon finally got his chance, Pito revealed to him that it was impossible to fix Kite, and this finally blew the fuse of the young hunter's rage. In a sequence that can only be described as one of the darkest transformations ever, he makes a vow with his Nen, demanding all the powers he'll ever have to be released in order to kill Pito, regardless of the consequences it'll have on his body. This transformed him into an adult state, with his powers amplified to exponential levels. Even without that power boost, Gon is a super strong enhancer bearing a prime ability called Jajanken. He focuses Nen into his fists with Ko, and then uses one of his 3 signature attacks: Rock, an aura-boosted powerful punch; Paper, an emitted fireball; and Scissors, a blade formed from his fingers through transmuted aura. In his adult state, every aspect of his aptitude towards Nen drastically improves, and he becomes a far more powerful and dangerous being. This is evident in how he completely overpowered and obliterated Neferpitou and the surrounding area. This was a brutal and overwhelming display of the full potential of our beloved protagonist, and one that certainly earns him this spot on the list. Number 3. Isacc Netero. The final hunter on this list is none other than the 12th chairman of the Hunter Association, the head of the Exam Commission, and Grand Master of the Shigen Ryu School of Kung Fu, Isacc Netero. There should be no denying the fact that in terms of feats shown in the series, Netero is not only the most powerful hunter, but also the most powerful human character. When he was young, he was hailed as the most powerful Nen user in the world. Even in his old age, where he claims to have only half the power of his prime self, he's still an overwhelming threat that surpasses every other human combatant in the series. A man who has literally visited and returned safely from the Dark Continent, not once, but twice, a place with a registered survival rate of 0.04. Being a martial arts master, he bears overwhelming physical prowess, such as immense strength, speed, agility, durability, and of course the incredible intellect to put all these capabilities into ensuring his victory in battle. Evidence of this mental proficiency is in his ultimate deed of affixing the poor man's rose into his heart, a powerful bomb laced with poison, guaranteed to take down any being powerful enough to defeat him. This was the ultimate last resort he used against Meruem, and he ended up saving the world at the cost of his life. In terms of his Nen ability, he's no joke at all. Being an enhancer with a Nen volume large enough to frighten even the likes of the Chimera Ant King, he exhibits a level of power and skill that surpasses the perceived limits of humanity. His main ability is the 100-type Guanyin Bodhisattva, a large multi-armed Nen construct that he controls with the precise movement of his hands. This hand motion is carried out at an extremely high speed of up to 0.1 seconds for each attack setup. And the force of even a single strike from this Buddhist construct is enough to send even the likes of Pito flying miles away. Among the limitless number of incredible Nen attacks in Netero's arsenal is First Hand, which prompts the 100-type Guanyin Bodhisattva to strike with a massive chop. There's also Third Hand, a strike in the form of a clap, 99th Hand, a barrage of palm strikes powerful enough to break deep into the ground, and his most powerful attack, Zero Hand, a powerful blast of Netero's remaining aura. Netero was truly an incredible figure of power in the series, and his display of skill and passion makes him completely deserving of the praise he received worldwide. Number 2. Meruem. Meruem is the main antagonist of the Chimera Ant arc, and the king of the Chimera Ants, who within just 20 days of his birth, displayed a level of power that's beyond any human or Chimera Ant. Meruem is a perfect depiction of what a king should be. He has the pride and confidence of a powerful ruler in every scene he's shown in, and it's not just an act. Meruem has a level of physical prowess that is unmatched by any other character in the series. This enables him to perform insane feats such as effortlessly beheading squadron leaders with single tail strikes immediately after his birth, severing Netero's limbs, and exchanging thousands of blows with him during their fight within a minute. He also has incredible intellect both on and off the battlefield. He further develops his intellectual capacity at superhuman speed by mastering every strategic board game he's introduced to immediately. He applies this extreme physical and mental prowess in his battles to make him an overwhelming threat even in just his base form. When it comes to his nen usage, he's an entirely different beast. With a level of aura output that far surpasses that of his royal guards, it goes without saying that no one less than the best of the best can even be a match for him in battle. He was born a nen user, a specialist to be exact, and although he relied mostly on his physical prowess in battle, his nen ability is not to be underestimated. The main power he had right from birth was the ability to absorb the aura output of other nen users and add to his own when he feeds on them. He can also gain the abilities of other nen users through a similar assimilation. For example, he absorbed Poof and Youpi when he was weakened by Netero's Poor Man's Rose Blast and gained their physical traits as well as their abilities. He could therefore use Youpi's Metamorphosis ability as well as his Rage Blast, and Poof's Spiritual Message, which he crafted his own version of. Despite his overwhelming power and will to dominate the human species, he displays a sense of nobility and humanity, partially owed to him retaining some of his memories of his past life. This allows him to give an opponent full respect during a one-on-one encounter rather than acting like a cheap villain. This, as well as the organic bond he formed with Komugi, makes Meruem much more special as a character. It feels like we've covered everything, right? From the most powerful Chimera Ants to the main character in his most powerful form. Who could possibly be above all the characters we mentioned already? Before that, though, let's take a moment to appreciate some highly skilled nen users that didn't quite make the list. Kurapika, the skilled chain user who terrorized the Phantom Troop with a special ability to go from Conjurer to Specialist by virtue of being the sole survivor of the Kurta clan with scarlet eyes. Jing Freecss, the father of our main character, a man stated to be one of the most powerful nen users in the series. However, we haven't seen enough feats to back that claim so far. Biscuit Kruger, a woman renowned for being not only a skilled nen user, but an incredible teacher of the concept as well. She displayed tremendous knowledge and control during the Greed Island arc, and she's undoubtedly one of the best hunters we meet early on. Zeno Zoldyck, the father of Killua and a professional assassin who is highly skilled in combat. He proved this when he displayed incredible power and intuition in his battle with Zeno against Chrollo. Nav, a professional hunter who played a pivotal role in the fight against the Chimera Ants. His ability as a conjurer allows him to manipulate space. He's able to make portals and even create a pocket dimension that can hold an entire squad of hunters. And finally, there's Meruem, another pivotal combatant for humanity and Nav's partner. He's a manipulator who can control smoke, and this grants him a wide range of attacks that make his Hollow Purple one of the most versatile abilities in the series. But here we are, finally at number 1. Number 1. Nanika. A confusing aspect surrounding Killua's younger sibling Aluka, other than their gender, is the mystery surrounding the powers of the being that possess them, Nanika. Nanika is a powerful dark continent creature that took refuge in the body of the second youngest of the Zoldyck family, Aluka. The two coexist in that vessel, with the only shown connection between them being an empathic link, and their shared affection for their older brother Killua. This stems from the fact that Killua is the only one among the Zoldicks that treats Aluka with any form of love, given the predicament. The rest of the family treats them like an outcast, not even giving them the basic acknowledgement of using she/her pronouns to refer to them, despite their desire to be female in appearance and character. Nanika is undoubtedly the most powerful being in the Hunter x Hunter universe so far. It has such broken abilities that go beyond the grounded and methodical nature of typical nen powers. The ability to completely possess another being like it did with Aluka is just the tip of an astoundingly deep iceberg. The main ability that puts it above every other character in the series in terms of power is its unlimited ability to grant wishes. And by unlimited, I mean no matter how complex, irrational, or impossible the wish, it's within Nanika's ability to make it come true. The being's infinite ability to alter reality to create any desired effect was fully displayed when it effortlessly made someone a millionaire and also when it healed Gon completely from a seemingly hopeless condition. As miraculous as Nanika's powers are, and although they've been used for good, this ability can actually be a lot darker and more devastating than it seems. This is due to the fact that its wish granting is less of a giveaway and more of a transaction, where Iluka demands 3 requests from the recipient, which must be fulfilled before Nanika grants their wish. Iluka's wishes are usually easy enough to fulfill, though they can get extremely difficult and painful depending on how large the wish demanded by the previous person was. The consequences of declining or not completely fulfilling Iluka's requests are the real danger. Refusing to complete 4 of her wishes after 1 has been granted results in a massacre where not only the current requester dies, but everyone they hold dear. Not a pretty death either, by the way. While the refuser gets crushed, their friends, family, and every companion get wrung to death instantly regardless of their location. This is a form of godlike judgment that accompanies the godlike ability. And the fact that it's completely unavoidable makes approaching Nanika for a wish one of the most dangerous decisions a character can take. Unless you're Killua. While it hasn't been officially stated that Nanika's abilities are Nen-based, given the fact that Nen is the supreme power structure of the series, it's a very safe assumption. This and the fact that it did display a massive release of aura when the creature healed Gon. Based on the nature of these abilities, if one were to classify Nanika, it would be a specialist. One thing it definitely is, though, is a freak of nature, a being unmatched by all the series' most powerful characters. With the ability to effortlessly bend reality and make the impossible possible, who else would deserve to be at the top of this list? Thanks for watching, I'm Jack Stansbury, and have a great day!